Hello everyone and welcome to this week's DevBlog for You Will Die, the zombie survival horror game that will put you in the game. This week's DevBlog will focus on a brand new weapon attachment system. The big change that I made this week was with weapon attachments. I already had a weapon attachment system, but it was not, shall we say, up to production ready. There was a lot of bugs and a lot of issues, and I did the thing that I never wanted to do, which is I threw away the entire system and rewrote it from scratch in C++. I am horrible in Unreal Engine's blueprints. I just visually can't get it. I'm much better as a C++ programmer, as it's my trade. And so I basically just threw it away and started over with some great results. And so I'm going to go over a couple of those now. So all of these attachments, you can see here in the item here, this is a optic attachment, this is a muzzle attachment, this is a laser attachment. This particular M4 has a buttstock, a muzzle, a rail, an optic already attached. It's not fantastic. It's kind of borrowed from Call of Duty, but I really want to do a UI overhaul. I know I keep saying it, but it will come. But this is what the current system looks now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to select this M4, and this mesh is a little bit off. It's a little tiny thing. I just got to move the mesh back a little bit. It looks the same. I didn't really change much as far as the UI, but under the hood, everything is different from the ground up, and you'll see in a moment why. First, I changed the strategy of how the connections work. For example, no longer am I saying this buttstock is for an AR-15 or for a M4 or a Kalashnikov. I'm saying that this uses a tube attachment, and as long as the gun accepts a tube, and as long as the buttstock is a tube, then it can connect. This is true with everything. Optics have a Picatinny attachment, and the gun accepts Picatinny for its optics, then it'll attach. The suppressor only connects if it has a barrel width and threading. This will help me simulate real-life connections for attachments. Some of the filtering also has requirements. So, for example, I cannot remove the grip from this gun. It is a required. I can switch it to other grips. I named them all grip for some reason. But I can switch to grips, but I cannot remove them. So let's go ahead and move. Okay, here we go. We can now, this is now a different type of grip. This is now a different other grip item. Suppressors, yeah, there's some new suppressors here. So we'll swap this out because it can, even though I have, if I go back here, there's many suppressors. Not all of them can connect to the M4. Only the ones that are able to connect to the M4. Before I would get the entire list. Now it does a check and will only provide the list of attachments that can be accepted by the gun. Same thing here with the iron sights. Same thing here with the lasers. All the attachments follow the same logic. They're all the attachments have the same attachment logic check. One thing you'll notice too, I don't know if you were noticing, but the icon in the UI was changing. And so this is a proof of concept I was playing around with, is actually grabbing the snapshot from the room and applying it as the icon. So as the in the UI, in the inventory UI, so that way when items change, I'll have a better representation of actually what is on it. That way you're not just getting some static image. This is still in the early phase, but it's working, and so it just needs tweaking, but it's definitely looking good. And I also went a little crazy by adding a lot of new attachments as well, some which I'll highlight, but there is more to come. So let's go ahead and take a look at this MP5 here. We're going to open this guy up, and attached he's got a wide foregrip, a MP5 claw rail, and a retractable buttstock. So again, I can come in here and I can change to a fixed buttstock. I can add a suppressor if I want to. There's a HK, there's a new suppressor here for it. the one thing I have to change with the UI is if there's no availability, if you're not able to actually change this, it's actually going to disappear. I just haven't added that yet, so you shouldn't be seeing the ones that are not able to be attached. One thing I now have the ability in the new system to do is recursion with the attachments. So with this rail attachment, the rail can allow child attachments, such as an optic. So here, we can add, let's say, T4 optic, let's say. So now, this claw rail has a child T4 optic. If I remove the claw rail, it'll also remove the T4 because it's parented to that claw. And if I bring it back, we'll also get the child attachment. This didn't update, but it's still there. If I close it and reopen it, it'll be there again. The same is true for foreends. For example, here's this tri-rail foregrip, which has a rail system. And as I selected this tri-rail foregrip, now we have an underbarrel and laser being able to attach because the tri-rail foregrip has the ability for child underbarrels and lasers. So anything that is currently available, that's a Picatinny. So I can now add this angled grip, and I can now add a laser. It's now added. And so now as long as it can attach to this foregrip with the same rail type, it'll show up here. And so this has given me amazing flexibility for user customization with the weapons. And I envision this won't just help out weapons, but also everyday use items, connecting things together, attaching them as part of the gameplay. And then let's take a look at this AK, for example. So AK has its own different suppressors, even though if I were to go back here to here, there's suppressors specifically for the M4. They're not available in the AK because of the new conditioning logic. So let me go back here. So let's add a different, I guess a muzzle brake, it looks like. So yeah, I can come in here with the AK and I have different grips now. Each one of these has their own properties to help with muzzle climb, either horizontal or vertical. Same thing with the buttstock. So like the better attachments will give you more control, or there'll be a trade-off of mobility. Each one will have their own distinct properties. Zombies and other players will be alerted to the gunfire in the area, and silencers will help lower the attenuation distance, as well as the sound volume of the gunshots. And just like with the MP5, the AK has a rail attachment. Right now I accidentally have it attached to the wrong side. But again, it has a ability to have child attachments. So now the entire Picatinny optic options are now available, including the M4A1 iron sights. But let's take a look at this new G33 optic I have, which is a 3X optic. So let's see what happens when I drop one of these guys in the vicinity, and it retains its attachments because it's all stored in. I got to fix the where the points of contact are on the mesh, but yeah, it's there. There's the rail, there's the optic, there's the muzzle, and I'll go and pick it up. So another player can come around and pick it up and have the same information here. It looks like the underbarrel didn't get picked up for some reason, but everything else did. Just a simple fix. But yeah, everything's here working fine, and it's working really great. I also went back and rewrote the entire zoom optic logic as well. So let's take a look at the new optic system for scopes, which again was a complete rewrite from the ground up to standardize across all of the optics. Before it was sort of like this works here, this doesn't work here, and now all of the optics with scope zooms will have the same logic, making it easier and faster to get them into the game. So this particular guy here is the new G33, which I got from Sketchfab. And this guy has a 1x as well as a 3x zoom function. So if I hit the plus button, I get the zoom button. I don't know if you heard the click, and then it can zoom out. There it goes. Let's take a look at like a sniper rifle scope now. So I'm going to come and add this here. So now I have full control over how far back I'd like to zoom. And the projection that's happening on the optic itself is also standardized as well. So all of these are going to look really good and have that sort of real world distortion and around the edges, and also yeah, it's just going to make things faster for me to get these scopes into the game. Let's close out by doing one more shot here. What do you say? So I'm going to zoom in, and I'm hitting the button to zoom in multiple times because it's a stage. And there he goes. All right. I also added a bunch of new magazines like this 75 round drum, for example. The same is going to be true with the shotguns. For example, here I have this as a grip because of how it attaches to the hand. And so here I have the wood grip and the polymer grip, which the polymer grip is currently attached. Even though there's other grips for AR-15s. Same thing here. So I can swap out this for a wood grip, and we can see this changes. And I can come over to this guy and change out this polymer grip for this Nox grip. And so now I have it all the filtering and connections working for shotguns as well. It now has a different grip. I got to fix where the hand placement is, but that's easy stuff. I'm planning to add more attachments, such as the pump here as well, which is also an attachment. And to show just how easy it is to add new attachments with the new system, I'm going to show adding this shotgun pump with a rail that we can put a laser on it. Now let's import the mesh into the game just like any other normal mesh. And here it is. It's now in the game. I've added the material to the system, and now, okay, it's looking fine. Next is to add the socket that will allow the laser to show up, and we're going to do that the same way you do this in Unreal to any other mesh, by just adding a socket, setting the predefined name that I have for my system. I'll now move the attachment point probably about here. Okay, so now I already have the base of the forends for the Mossberg. So all the shotgun has to do is say, I use Mossberg forends, and then any child item, such as the plastic pump, or I can add 100 of these, as long as the parent is the Mossberg forend base, the Mossberg will accept it as part of the condition check. In my Mossberg 590, all I then have to say is, yeah, as long as the forend Mossberg base, it's going to pick it up. Now, it really is that simple. Okay, so all I have to do is say this is a forend. It attaches to the forend socket. In the case here of the Mossberg 590, the forend socket is here. The allowed attachments is going to be the laser. And if we want it to modify the hipfire spread, the horizontal recoil control, the vertical recoil control, I can do that in here. So let's say this will give it a 10% hipfire spread control. The recoil control, let's say it's 0.05, and vertical 0.01, like 1%. And we call it Mossberg pump. And then, yeah, let's say pump rail. There it is, and there's our materials. I just got to create a thumbnail. But this is the main part right here. As long as I set this to a laser, it will accept lasers. All right, okay, let's take a look. And looks like I just got to fix the mesh by like a millimeter, but it's there. Mossberg pump, lasers there. Let's add the DBAL4. Oh, okay. So I got to, this is easy. I just got to go into the mesh and update the translation of the laser attachment. So let's see here. We'll actually see it happen on the right as I move it. Let's get to 90 degrees. Ooh, too far. And then I think we can put this better here and here and maybe right there. All right, perfect. Get back into the game. And there we are. It's there. That's it. Yeah, let's go ahead and put this on. And yeah, there we have a Mossberg with a pump with a light. And L for light, and there we go. Let's go ahead and try that again. Yeah, there it is. Everything's moving, the laser is moving along with it. It's looking good. That's how easy it is in my new system to add new weapon attachments. It's crazy easy, and I've added so many more attachments. I'll highlight more in later videos, but that's it. This is looking really good. Thank you very much for watching this week's DevBlog, and I look forward to the next one.